Okay, I continue to show games from my road to 2000 Rapid. This one, it's a more complicated game, more positional, quite difficult in my opinion. And so let's remember that this is a rapid game, so it's 15 minutes with 10 seconds increment. And I was black and I was 1824 and my opponent was white. He was rated 1783 and this seems he was from Italy. Okay, start a review. So he plays e4.
Opening with the king's pawn controls the center and opens up the light-squared bishop and queen, often leading to sharp games.
Now I should play this and this instead. Since I played, I have a confusion in my head sometimes because I have learned to play a certain kind of Sicilian based on online, and then the one on G6 I took it from a book. So sometimes I confuse the two, and it's my fault. I understand that.
The Sicilian defense controls the d4 square with c-pawn. Knight f3 develops the knight toward the center to prepare for a d4 pawn push, where the knight will Knight c6 helps control both the d4 square and the e5 square. d4 offers to trade a center pawn for the c5 pawn. In exchange for more, c takes d4 gives black two central pawns versus one central pawn for white. Knight takes d4 recaptures the pawn and activates the knight in return for having one central pawn versus black's two central pawns.
So as you can see, he continued to point out at the central fight, the fight for the center, right?
Knight f6 develops the knight toward the center and attacks the undefended e4 pawn.
This is obviously a little trap, right? Because if he tries to make something like takes here, no? And then e5, he will lose it. And so that's a little trap I made. But maybe it's not really.
Knight c3 defends the e4 pawn and puts more pressure on the d5 square.
And here I played d6 because I know that at that point the push is possible.
d6 prevents an e5 pawn push and allows the light-squared bishop to develop. Bishop e2 develops the bishop and prepares castling. e5 takes space in the center, attacks the knight on d4, and allows the dark-squared bishop to develop.
Unfortunately, I tell you, the development of a dark square bishop is quite limited, and that's why maybe the line with the g6 in the beginning, obviously not now, makes more sense. So it depends what you like and what you don't like.
This forces the opponent to isolate a pawn.
But
you captured back.
Honestly, this yes, I have this isolated, but now white cannot have d5, which is the entire one of the entire themes of the Sicilian, right? The d5 and the exchange on d5. So honestly, I think it made me a favor. Why? Not only I have d5, but I also have a possible rook b8, so it's great for me.
Castling kingside tends to be safer than queenside because the king is further from the center. Your bishop becomes more powerful by developing towards the action.
There was only one square, honestly, guys. He says this move is the best, but I don't know what else could you have played if you are black. Why? Because you want to castle, right? So where do you put it? It's not that you have 5 squares, or you can put it here or here. No, there is only one square. So it's not really the best. It's the only move.
This attacks black's pawn chain.
He plays this, that here it says excellent, but I don't know, because it's practically now has created some weaknesses.
You exchange pieces of equal value. With this recapture, white introduces a new piece to the game.
Yeah, but now, yes, this bet is isolated, and I don't know. I don't see my situation as bad, honestly.
You've secured your king on the same side as your opponent. A solid strategy.
Ah, by the way, guys, now I don't know if you can see why this was a weakening, because check and this goes down. So it's kind of interesting at this point.
The rooks can see each other now, allowing them to provide mutual defense.
So I played queen d3, and here I played queen b6.
Developing a new piece.
Yeah, no, I wanted to get the pawn on b2. But obviously I was still thinking. And then I increased the pressure in another sense. Let me show you.
This steps away from the checking queen.
Right? And what would you have done here? Obviously, I'm not telling you guys that it's the best, but it's my idea, right? In the opening, you must have ideas. With this move, I finish the opening, and I create the possibility of giving a check, tac, tac. And so that was my idea.
With that move, you offer to trade pieces. You are threatening to win material through a fork.
Tac, tac. Okay, and now the fork is this one, right? So what did he play? He played
This wins a tempo by threatening a knight and forcing it to move away.
queen g3, but silly by me, I didn't think about it. And why I didn't think about it? Because once I saw it, like always 1 second too late, I thought, oh no, I have lost this. But it wasn't even that the worst thing.
This is a good time for you to get out of trouble.
And now he played this move.
This threatens to checkmate the king.
Boom. And here I had to start to think, because if you forget for a second that, you get checkmated, right? So that's kind of a huge problem. What did I play here? After a little, I thought the only way was this.
Good job protecting your pawn.
And let me see.
This threatens to check. Good
Okay.
job protecting your pawn.
Yeah, this took me a little as a time, but the next move.
This threatens to tactically win a pawn.
Oops. And here I had the problem. Here is when I started to think, because I didn't know what to do. Why I didn't know what to do? Because if you make this, checkmate, right? So what do I do? No? And how do I avoid the checkmate? That's kind of the problem here. So I found a move that after a little while I found it. Let me show you.
You captured a free pawn.
Boom! This is the move it took me more than a minute to find. And it was difficult to find. Why? Because, again, I was afraid to get checkmated, but this move solved the problem because it controls g7. Indirectly at the moment, but it will. And so once I found this move, I thought, wow, maybe the things are changing, because I'm really under pressure there, okay?
This is the only good move. This moves the knight to safety.
And again, here I tell you guys, this is why you see the game review, it's a little strange. It says it's a great move, but if it's the only move, and that's what I thought, right? After I played queen takes b2, I thought he could only do this, otherwise he would lose everything. But now I control this, so I don't care, honestly. And I think I'm doing well at this point.
Great use of your piece to blockade the pawn.
Here is not question. You can see, guys, why I tell you game review is not good. Game review told you I played this move because I blockade the pawn. No, I didn't. I played this move because it protects this. and keeps this. So that's the real reason. Now, and plus, obviously, I cannot keep it there because if something happens, I get checkmated, right? So it's a problem because I am not a computer that sees everything and is sure that this is the right way to go. I don't know if it's the right way to go. But now he played this move.
This misses an opportunity to develop a rook off its starting square. This permits the opponent to force isolated double pawns.
So he played this move, but in my opinion it's a big mistake. It's a blunder. Also, if a computer here says only a mistake, and for him probably it was to move this away, perfect. But why this is a blunder for me, and why game review is not teaching it to you? What is the problem here? The problem is he is attacking, right? If you exchange the pieces, your attack goes nowhere. And so that's what I did immediately. No? Wow, let's take it. Because at this point I'm okay. I'm honestly okay.
You are forcing your opponent to have isolated double pawns, which ruins their structure.
And it's not that the reason. I took away an attacking piece. More attacking pieces I take away, and easier it's for me to win the game. Notice that at this point I think I have a pawn advantage, or at least that's what I thought, right? I thought I had a pawn advantage. Yeah, so that's why.
Recaptures.
And so for me that's it. Once I overcome the storm, this kind of a problem, and I already know the attack is going down, for me I have won the game, right? And I think another thing, honestly, yes, I have an isolated pawn, but he has 1, 2, 3, and 5. He has all his pawn isolated. Just for this, I will win in the endgame. So that's a fact that I can tell you for sure, that I'm able to win a pawn endgame against this kind of structures.
You are threatening to tactically win a bishop.
Okay, now I play this. Okay, remember this bishop is here, it can be taken.
White activates the last piece, bringing all pieces into play. Your rook is now developed, bringing all pieces to the board.
So we are all attacking in the center now because he has this isolated.
This misses a much better move.
He played this move, that was probably a mistake, he says. Let's see. Okay, it seems the right move was King h2. I think it makes sense, because at a certain point you will exchange this, you need to defend it. And probably it would have made sense also to attack on the h file. But he didn't play it, so sorry.
This misses a much better move.
But he had an idea, a good idea. So as you can see, it's all based on ideas, okay? Now that I have this bishop here, which is helping to avoid a checkmate, what is my next step? My next step in this situation, this is a kind of endgame practically. I have to think in endgame mode, right? So my thinking is I want to exchange all the pieces and win the pawn endgame. So the next move
This offers a trade
is
to your
this.
opponent.
I want to exchange queens. Once I exchange queens, his attack is gone. Once the attack is gone, I win the game. Okay?
Very precise.
He played this move that was good, and I didn't think of it, like always.
That was a strong discovery. Now you'll win a rook.
But watch this. Boom! What do you do now? Because this keeps this, right? You didn't want to exchange, but here I can give you check, right? And gain a tempo. So you need to decide. And I think at this point I was definitely winning because he was too stubborn and continue to attack there. Um, and this is a thing that you will find with players that are rated 1600, 1700. They continue to attack, 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 also when the attack is gone, and you should stop and try to save yourself. And when they do that, it's very easy to win the game.
This threatens to checkmate the king. You captured that free bishop.
Oops. And this is the gun, right? Of course, we still have a little problem.
This blocks the check from an opposing queen.
But now there is not the checkmate threat anymore, right?
This is the way to win a pawn.
And I go here again. What do you do? He now invented this continuous attack, but he's down and my pieces are active. They are all there. So I have 3 bodyguards, 2 rooks, 1 queen and 1 bishop. How do you overcome that? I don't know.
This threatens to tactically win a queen. Nice, you found a way to win a pawn.
Obviously, you don't go for that and get checkmated. You try to defend, and once you have defended well, he will lose automatically.
This moves the rook to safety. You want a pawn for free.
Oops, not only a pawn. Now I control this, but even worse is, and he didn't realize it, I control h8. And he didn't know that. He didn't see it right away because this was the deep idea behind, not the pawn. This is, you see, like I told you, the game review is not teaching you this, but there are deep thinking, when you play. Here I was down in time. I was 4 minutes less than him. I was 9 minutes, he had still 13 minutes, so I was down, but it doesn't matter. I saw that idea and that mattered to me.
A solid choice. You've broken a pin and now your pawn can provide defense.
Everything is defending. This defend this. What do you do? What do you do? Eh?
A very strong play.
And what would you have played here? At this point, I need to start to counter-attack and gain some space because my rooks are not active. His rooks are very active, okay? So I played f5.
With that move, you chase the rook away. This doubles the rooks on a file, which allows them to team up to create threats.
Yes and no. Like I said, you will see my idea is that this bishop is fantastic.
Very good choice. There were worse moves, but also something much better.
I don't know, I don't care.
Yes, this is the way.
Boom! Can you see? Because now I'm opening the lines for my rook, and so my rooks will also enter the game.
This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. You're continuing down the road to checkmate.
And here I played this. And now obviously he thinks that he can go there because he still didn't understand that this is the guy that blocks everything.
One of the best moves. Getting closer to the forced checkmate. You won material by capturing that rook. Takes back. You continue the checkmate attack.
Boom! Now he thinks, ha ha ha, I can get you with this, right?
A solid choice.
But look what I did. Oops.
Your move gets closer to checkmate.
Of course, it seems that the computer has calculated that there is a checkmate. In that moment, I was just thinking about the defense. Once I finish to defend, obviously I win the game. But not because I calculated the checkmate, because it doesn't have anything anymore, right?
This threatens to checkmate the king.
And I don't care. Because at this point, I can exchange the pieces like I told you.
You're continuing down the road to checkmate. This steps away from the checking queen. Your position is still winning, but you missed a fast checkmate.
Here, I played this. And he told me, "Oh, you missed a fast checkmate." But I don't care. I don't care because, okay, yeah, the goal of a game is to give checkmate, and obviously we will see what is the checkmate. But after I play this, the game is over because if he exchange, I take, and I simply have so much material that it's impossible to lose. And if he doesn't take, it's over, right? Because I take there and you exchange, it's over. Now let's see what is the checkmate. No, I don't see the checkmate here. Let's see.
This steps away from the checking queen.
Let's see. Okay, I have, in fact made a mistake because after this he goes here, he says, sorry. So let's see what it was.
This steps away from the checking queen.
So I was giving check here, he played this, instead of this I should have played this, he says.
Your position is still winning, but you missed a fast checkmate.
And here practically if he goes here, probably there is this, checkmate. If he goes here, there is this, and it's checkmate. Okay, so this was the thing I miss in the game, but again, I don't care because I tell you, once I give you check, two, boom, and tell me how do you win. How do you win? That's the thing, you know, that sometimes you just want to play, and instead of thinking and finding the checkmate, you just play and exchange all the pieces again because you know you win the endgame. Like I was thinking in the beginning, no? But there were all those isolated pawns, clearly he would have lost. So as you can see, there are mistakes because we are humans, but it's worth it. And here I was able to overcome the attack with a good defense, that he missed the idea of g7 and h8, and then it was all done. Thank you very much for watching.